this on YouTube. So like the things I'm doing, the things that's going on, like I have no idea what's going on here. So I'm just gonna start talking, see what happens. I am currently in my car. If you can't see the seatbelt, just sitting here talking about this, that, and the other. Not much on the plate of things to get into, but I figure like I'll sit here and chat and see what happens, see who comes in. I'm gonna unstrap myself from this bad boy here and just let the good time flow and see what happens with that. My attention, my tone may start to change after a while. It won't be the same as it is now, but I don't have much to talk about, to be and truly honest with all of you right now. Um, Let me see if I can learn the interface of this bad boy here while I'm doing this. So, gotta have at least a minute before you do a highlight. Don't need a highlight. There's no way to put pictures or any other kind of strapless on here, so that's out of the question too. Let's see what's this. This is for my banner. Can't do much with that either. I can see all the chats. I can reverse the camera. There's not much interface I can do with YouTube Live on my phone. I'm pretty sure like it changes if I was on my PC. But yeah, what happened this week? I know the Harley Quinn Valentine special is still out. It came out on Valentine's, like the week before or the week of Valentine's. I haven't had a chance to watch it. Also, I haven't had a chance to finish like the first season of Harley Quinn. That is something on the list of things to do. Quantumanium is out. Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumanium is out. I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm going to see it on Tuesday. My aunt said she wanted to tag along and go watch it with me. I'm here just for the Jonathan Majors. That's all I'm here for. I don't care about Ant-Man or Wasp. I don't care about like the touchy feeling with his kid. Don't care about any of that. Don't care about like the whole loving wholesomeness of the MCU. I just want to watch Jonathan Majors be a badass. And I wanted to see him be a badass, but I know like he's ripped. Like I know he got like majorly in shape for Creed, and like we won't get to see much of that because he's gonna be in like his king suit, and that's disappointing because I wouldn't mind seeing him extrapolate some muscles in all of his glory in that movie. So you know what? It's what it is. It's how it goes. But what else is happening this week? Um, I know a few games came out. What I forget the name of the game. Is it Wildlands? It's like the copy game to Monster Hunter that everyone's talking about. I know that's out. I forget the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of what it is. But I know like that came out this week. The Tetris trailer dropped this week also with Targan. I'm interested. It's a comedy drama, and as I said before, that is how I see the Tetris story. Is that's a comedy drama, so that in itself is something I'm totally here for. So if you haven't seen the Tetris trailer, something to look forward to for sure. I am getting more and more comfortable doing this live and talking to people, and in this manner, it feels real good to put myself out here like this, and I want to make it more of a thing, really. Like doing this, my goal is to move myself up to doing this daily. I think I want to be able to happen to like my kids are all in school. My youngest goes to school next semester, so the next school year, September, August, whenever the school year starts in that time frame. But whenever they do, I'm going to be doing this daily, like at least like for like 30 minutes. Write a list of things I want to talk about. Have some people to co-host with me. I want to go full steam running with this and just have some fun with it because talking about it by myself is fun, but having other people talk about it with me, that is where the fun is. So, gonna try and do that. Be on a peak time to get myself out there, make some cool banners to get attention and things like that. Because I got the DC banner going on. People know what the fuck that is. So, um, the Penguin TV show just got a new cast member, Renzi Felix from Runaways and Encanto. Like he made the change from Marvel to DC, and he's gonna be in the Penguin show. That's cool. The Green Lantern show. is still going, but differently. I just did a casting where I want to see Chris Evans as Alan Scott. See, I want to see Chris Evans as Alan Scott simply because Alan Scott won't stick around and he's not technically a part of the Green Lantern Corps. So he won't have to stay around like and be a part of the whole mythos. But you get to see Chris Evans in the DC universe, if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Someone suggested he can be a good Hal Jordan. So like that's cool, him as Hal Jordan, but like, then he had to stick around. They had to be like Parallax, which would be cool to see Chris Evans play like, the antagonistic Hal Jordan. I would love to see that. But you know what? I think like dude has done enough superheroes. He can just take a break, dial it down a little bit. I want to keep doing that, which is talking about what heroes or villains could make the transition over to DC, like Joe Mantegna, who did Deathstroke in the Snyderverse. I wouldn't mind seeing him jump to the MCU and play a character. The question is like who that character would be. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't put a lot of thought on that. I should focus on that. Who could Joe Mantegna be inside of the Marvel universe that hasn't already been fulfilled in a role? I would say the analog or one of the analogs to Deathstroke is like Deathshot. But I feel like you got to get that to like a dark skinned black man and not give it to Joe Mantegna. But I'm kind of running a blank because the MCU is really good at casting folks. They're really good at like putting faces to like these characters and like in fulfilling those roles and keeping those actors attached to it. So who he could play? Maybe Orca, but that's not fair. That's not like you couldn't even see his face. He'd be like in an Orca suit the entire time. Like so, yeah, that would be. Maybe I should go Spider-Man universe and like put him in a Tombstone kind of role. That'd be cool. See him as Tombstone. Yeah, like I think you run into that problem of having him be like the wrong complexion for that character. He is white the entire time. Choices, man. Choices and decisions. But I do want to see more indie comic books like make the forefront to comic book verse because all we see right now is Marvel and DC. You got some indie stuff, but it's always well known. Like the Spawn movie that's coming out, like that's going to be coming soon, apparently, whenever it comes out. Who knows? But you got the Jupiter Legacy TV show. You got the Boys TV show. I want to see more indie comic books make the forefront to live action film. I know like the 8 Billion Genies is getting a TV show. Red Sonja is getting a movie. So like it's kind of happening. But I honestly think that the video games have to get like their footing before anyone takes a chance on indie. And like stay with me on this. I feel like if the video games are kind of unknown to the masses can solidify a footing inside of the film and television world, that's the only way you can get an indie comic book film to really stand on its own. I feel like that's the only way. And I do think with that, like a lot of these black and person of color film industries, when they get wind of like all these companies making these films, that's when you're gonna see like the black owned comic book movies get their films or mini series or TV shows. But it's gonna be like the black owned company in ties with Netflix and Paramount Plus and all those places. It's gonna be a long go. But I do think like all the companies that are indie right now that are making books have to keep at it if they want their property to be made into a film or television show. Like I feel like that's the only way. They have to keep at it now. In about 10, 20 years, that's when you'll see like the next step in all of this. And I only say that because like it's been 20 some plus years we get like of constant comic book films that it hasn't stopped. It hasn't wavered. Even like with Phase 5 of Marvel, this movie's gonna break 100 million. And that's still like a bonus. That's a plus. That's a good thing in film, considering that most like unknown properties. That's funny I say that movies that aren't comic book are unknown now. That's funny, but like the movies that are unknown are now, you know, not making as much as the comic book films. So they're not going anywhere. And film was kind of dying out before all this happened. So it's a mixed bag with all this. It's a lot of politics with it. It's it's kind of up and down at times too. But I do think that if the comic book companies that are going at it stick with it for a couple more years, they may not see the sales in their comic books, but they'll reap the benefits. Like the sister show, sister nuns or the killer nuns. I forget the name of the show. Like it was the warrior nun. That show, that was a very under the radar indie comic book, like very small, and that had 2 seasons on Netflix. Of all things to be on Netflix to get 2 seasons, that got it. And not that it was bad, because I actually watched the first season. I didn't get a chance to watch the second season. I just haven't gotten that train yet. But it was a good show. Like the graphics were good. Like the story was decent. The story was decent. The graphics was good. The story was decent. The acting was pretty good. I wouldn't say like it was, but it was pretty good for what it was. The acting was good. So Warrior Nun is decent, and I think like if you get shows like Warrior Nun on Netflix, like again Paramount Plus, maybe not Disney Plus, probably Hulu, because we do have like that monkey. What's it, the Hit Monkey? It's coming back for a season 2, and like that's very under the radar. I didn't think many people watched. I didn't think like enough people watch Hit Monkey for to get a season 2, but that's coming back for a season 2. So like, it's the small stuff, man. It's the small stuff. Like just I want to see more diverse spectrum of comic book shows, and I want to get more into the comic book world. But I do also want to see the game adaptations like Gears of War, God of War, Horizon, Twisted Metal. Even though some people say like a lot of these sound like ridiculous or hokey, I still want to see it because I feel like we're getting stale. Like if you follow TV and films as much as I do, you realize that like TV is kind of dominating everything, and the fact that TV is dominating everything, it kind of dilutes like the situation that you're in when it comes to this. And much like if you guys are comic book fans, much like comic books go through phases where they do a lot of events, a lot of mini events, and that can get diluted after a while. Or you get like stuck on one company, Marvel, excuse me, or DC. It's the same with TV and film right now. It's getting diluted. Like the TV shows are getting diluted, and film. How do I put this? I just tried to watch You People on Netflix last night, and I had to pause it a few times, but that's because I have kids. But I feel like most individuals don't have like the attention span or bandwidth to stick around for a show. Twisted Metal will make a great show because it's coming out on Peacock, and I feel like a lot of folks don't have like the attention span to follow a film. So TV show is the way to go. Yeah, Twisted Metal is going to come out on Peacock with Anthony Mackie starring in the role. Like that's coming. A lot of critics are giving it a bad go. Like they're saying like this is going to be ridiculous. Like what can you do with it? I think you can do a lot with it. It's like it's a Fast and the Furious meet Burnout on a TV show. Like it's Twisted Metal. Like I mean, come on. Like having Sweet Tooth, it's like one of the main antagonists, and you get to shine all the other like bad guys because they had like a few good games. Twisted Metal. I wouldn't say like they were the greatest, but when they came out on PlayStation 1, like it was one of the go-tos for sure. So I don't know. A lot of folks are just like dog walking it for some reason. I don't get it. I really don't. But I want to see what happens with it. But again, I want to see other companies like Tubi. I want to see them like adapt a couple of shows that like you wouldn't suspect to see, or that has like a small name attached to it, but can be great. It's gonna take a while. It is and that's like the hard part. It's waiting it out and seeing like how long it takes for it to get to that point. But I think like if fans are gung ho about it, or hit up the conventions, talk to these creators, follow them on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. I feel like that's the best way to go about it, man. I really do. Like I feel like I feel like we don't utilize the internet as well as we could. We use it for talking crap about genders. We use it for talking crap about each other, talking crap about being single. Like it's about all that stuff. Like if you use like the internet in a way that you can just talk about like stuff you want, like that you want, it would be a lot better place. Like I want to see more cool comics that I actually read. I actually picked up a few, and like got the Static Shock, and I got the Blade, and of course had to get this Daredevil. It's like Daredevil against Punisher. Like how you gotta. I mean, you gotta go with the Daredevil versus Punisher. I saw that cover. I read the synopsis. It's like a Shadowland, but like they're going against each other in this. Like I'm like, all right, gotta get it. But yeah, I want to see more stuff like that, and I want to get pumped about stuff like that. And I feel like we're focusing as a collective on the internet. We're focusing more on TNA. We're focusing more on like the hate you give to each other. Like and like what's the point? What's the point? Our insecurity is our insecurity. To put that out on the people is boring at times. To be honest with you, it ruins my day. Like, to be focusing on stuff like that. So if I can talk about art, like cool art, like whether it be comics, television shows, it's like some cool music, like give me that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this more often. If I'm not here, I'll probably be on Facebook or where else? Where else will I be at? Instagram. I do the Instagram late night. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like Instagram, like it's like a late night kind of thing. Like because I don't have like time in the day to do stuff like this. This is like one of my few times I get like off. So here we are. But yeah, I'm headed out. I'm DM FTO Nerd Talk. If you get a chance, check out my podcast, FTO Nerd Talk podcast, wherever you find podcasts. If you go to my link, my Instagram, my Twitter, this link in my bio, check it out. Until next time, take it easy.